Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name is Tristan Rallings, and joining us today from the Australian Army is Corporal Jeanette McNeely. We are honoured to acknowledge Ms. Pernille Dallier Cardell, Ambassador, Royal Danish Embassy, with Mr. Peter Heinlein, and Mr. Lars Throstrup, Deputy Head of Mission, Royal Danish Embassy. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families who love and support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by visitors to the memorial. If you are able, please stand and join in singing the National Anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is God by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts, all beauty rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains that let us sing, advance Australia fair.
If you are able, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of the more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations over more than a century. But first we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths of floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Private Myles Standish Cox. Myles Cox was born in Rylstone, a small town in the central tablelands of New South Wales, the son of Alice and Edward Standish Cox. He grew up amid a large family, attended Mildura Public School and went on to work as a station hand. He also served for a year and a half in the colonial forces. On the 17th of August 1914 at Randwick, Myles and his brother Edward enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force. The two were posted to Echo Company of the 4th Battalion. The battalion had been raised within a fortnight of the declaration of war and was soon to leave Australia for overseas service. Edward and Miles embarked at Sydney on the 20th of October 1914, travelling on the troop ship Euripides, bound for Egypt. The 4th Battalion would go on to take part in the landing at Anzac Cove on the 25th of April 1915, and then attack Lone Pine before being evacuated at the end of the year. Edward and Miles Cox Weber would not live to see Gallipoli. While many Australian soldiers would die in combat, through accidents or as prisoners of war, a considerable loss of life would occur due to disease and illness. Terrible conditions in the trenches of the Western Front would lead to influenza, typhoid, trench foot and trench fever. Viruses would spread quickly aboard crowded troop ships, and in unfamiliar environments, a simple cut could quickly become infected and develop into pneumonia. The influenza pandemic of 1918 would take more lives than 4 years of fighting. Just as Edward and Miles Cox were amongst the earliest Australians to enlist, illness would cause them to be among the first to fall. On the 13th of December 1914, Edward Cox died of pneumonia in Alexandria. He'd been in Egypt for less than a fortnight. Miles died of the same illness 3 days later. He was 23 years old. Perhaps motivated by her brother's deaths, sister Mary Standish Cox enlisted in the Australian Army Medical Corps in September 1916, serving in England and France before returning to Australia in 1919. Today, Miles Cox remains lie buried at the Cairo War Memorial Cemetery. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, amongst more than 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. A photograph of his headstone is displayed today beside a pool of reflection. This is but one of many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private Myles Standish Cox, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. We thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial and wish you all a very good evening. Thank you.